It's all because of the EU. It's because of the EU, because they're trying to create the first European superstate where you no longer have a country called England. You'll live in a sub-region of Europe. The EU wants to make racism and xenophobia illegal, against the law, to be racist or xenophobic. That's a very noble intention. No, it's an insidious fucking trick. You can't make racism against the law. Racism is something you evolve out of when you understand you're all one consciousness and it never existed to begin with and was always an illusion. See? If you make it against the law, that means everyone in here this evening could be racist, never act upon it, never do anything about it, but still be criminals. You know what that is? Thought crime. Yeah, George Orwell is masturbating in his fucking grave. You understand? I told you, dickheads, didn't I? I got the year wrong, but I fucking told you. The reason they want to make racism and xenophobia illegal is if when they create the first EU superstate, they crush all borders and there's unlimited immigration from the third world or anywhere within the European sub-regions for any people to be able to move anywhere. Anyone that disagrees with this will be branded racist and xenophobic. Simply because you'll have someone turning up going, I'm not racist, it's just that 10,000 people have turned up here since last Wednesday. And most of them can't even understand the escalator. Oh, yeah. The EU. Don't worry about the EU. Don't worry about it. It's just, that's what the first two world wars were created to create. That was what they started. Because the First World Wars, they don't just happen wars. They don't just, whoops. They're created by the ruling elite and the secret oligarchs of ruling governments that actually run the world behind your back. And you think it's Tony Blair and George Bush. That's what happens. That's why they created the First World War, to create the League of Nations. Didn't quite work, so they created the Second World War to create the Council of Europe. Well, I think it may be the other way around, actually. Then you had the European Steel and Coal Community, which it turned into. Then it turned into the European Economic Community. Then it turned into, with the Treaty of Rome, the European Union. But it's got nothing to do with imperialism. It's just an unelected quasi-government that started as a trading body that now has its flags on your airports, passports and cars. But don't worry about it, because, the X Factor's on. Yeah, just relax, You've got to vote someone off, don't you? You love the EU is very democratic, don't you? You know when Ireland voted no in the Lisbon Treaty, and how do they respond to that? You voted no, did you, Ireland? Well, we'll give you a few more months, and you can think about it. No, we already voted, and the vote was no. Yeah. But we'll give you a bit more time. Maybe you could think of something else. No, we already voted. No. Yeah. But Palestinians voted in Hamas as well, and we're not too happy about that. Yeah. Good thing you Irish aren't brown. Or we'd be fucking bombing your children to death as you speak. But don't worry, X Factor's on. Welcome to Steve's Happy Comedy Hour.